Come in.
Drop it like that. When the thing sounds sweet, you clap. Making you dance like that, cross screw like that, roll it like that, Let me see that we can play with dance I go beat roll it, when the music so sweet, making you dance like that, cross screw like that,
roll it like that. Come on in. Hello, beautiful people. Tribe of many colors. Thank you for being here. I'm gonna play some music. This is gonna influence you to twerk your ass off. That's what the title is about. That's what the video is about. Let's do it.
Boasty, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Boasty, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy.
Hey yo, Idris, tell them what they're gonna take the piss. When step out, do that turn up in a dish. Body comfortable, I'm physically fit. I'm a brown and sweet, just like the chocolate. Yo, Wiley, them all sound like me. They done a pretty with the upper body. Shut down in the city with me bad girl pussy. Every man want piece of me. The back of them a pop and them a bun weed. Man want wine behind me have to move kind dusty. I'm looking for a brother who got hella pound. 079, baby, I'm a hammer to the south.
Boasty, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Boasty, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like a bossy.
Hey yo, Sean.
Hey, so when me spitty body with it, maybe gala get with it. Spitty body with it, maybe gala get. When me spitty body with it, maybe gala get with it. Wind up your body and spin it. Girl, when you bubble like a trouble, why you give me this something now? Turn it around and bring it. You're pressing it back on and on. Never push that on my girl down, but I can't tip it. Once you broke out and fling it. Once your body shaking up to the limit. Once you wild out to wild it to S to the base, Stefflon and mid on edges. Is it?
Boasty.
I came to rap it up, do my thing. Sabi put me on the gram and a remix thing. Pull tight Wiley with the Pacino flow. Godfather part 2, call me De Niro. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. Disrespect, man, get a slap on the chin. Man a king in a top, oh Larry, man a big DJ, Ox, Megan and Harry. Boss, yeah, man a boss. I make your girl melt like a toasty. I'll be this way someday. And I write for myself, no ghosting.
He's a boy, got money in a bank on. Ready to roll and blaze up this tank on. Got the girls from Cham to Hong Kong. The girl, them champion. In it.
Boasty, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Boasty, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy. I'm bossy, Godfather, man a OG, man a half humble, man a bossy. Fling a rag a rhythm like it's all free. Bossy, house on the coast G. My money so long it doesn't know me. It's looking at my kids like I'm bossy. I fly around the world cause I'm bossy.
Yeah. Hello, Starling. How you doing? How you doing, Starling? This is going to be a good one today. Come on in the room. Hey, Starling, I ain't going to play the whole thing, but I got a song for you. Specifically, the guides told me this song is for you.
Give her the loving that she want a man, good. Give her the
True Jamaican style now.
She need them, she need them, and baby, she want a man who can turn up the heat. Give her the touch and make her heart skip a beat. She need a man who can music and sweet. Give her the love and make she feel complete and make she scream out, baby. Make she fall out, baby. When me a put it on, you when me put it on. This is what she say.
Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. I want you, me love. I want you, me love. Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. Don't stop, do it 'cause I want you, me love. I want you, me love. I want you, me love.
She make it spin like a gecko.
What you say, sorry? The guys never fail. Hello, Wade. How are you? Deja vu, I see you too. All right, we had enough music. Let's get to going. Did you say, Starling, that was spot on? The guys know you're hot. All right, let me stop messing around. Let's get started. This topic today. Very necessary. Hey, Wade in Arizona. I know I told you before that used to be my stomping ground. Bell Rock. All that area up there. I used to love walking that zone. All right, let's start off. Now that we all hot and bothered and got the Shakti and the Kundalini rising, let's get into it. So, a couple, yeah, Sedona. Yep, I love Sedona. I love the gem shop in Sedona. So, awesome spots to be. All right, 2 messages came in today before I start. Number 1. If you are called to go to the mountains, your ancestors are waiting for you. So if you've been feeling lately like you have the desire to go someplace high, to climb. Sometimes some of us, we have that. We have this desire to climb, to elevate. Sometimes elevating your consciousness requires a physical elevation. So you have to climb somewhere high so you can be high up, get that good prana, that good air that you're not getting, especially if you live in a polluted city. If you can go out to a state park, go out somewhere, climb a mountain, take some deep breaths up there. For somebody, your guides are waiting for you up high. Okay. And the next one I had was work with your guides in moments of uncertainty. Sometimes we have that. We have times where we're not as confident. We don't feel certain about where to go, where our life is going, how things are going to turn out, what we should do, how we should get creative, if we should go into a new relationship, go into a new job. Sometimes we're just in a state of not knowing what to do next or what to do at all. My guides are telling me these are the moments to work with them. Those moments of uncertainty occur to bring you into the realm of spiritual connection. So when you're not feeling certain about yourself or certain about life in any area, that's an invitation to sit with your guides so they could do some work with you. Okay? That's important. They want to work with you. This is a time where all your guides, all your galactic family, every possible thing in creation that can show up to have this realm move forward in a positive way is going to start showing up. All you have to do is sit with it. And when you sit with it and you get that connection in that meditative moment, the uncertainty fades away and you get some clarity about where to go. So remember, if you're uncertain, take a moment to let your guides connect with you. That's what they're calling for. All right. let's get into it. So how did I come about this topic? If you know the story of Sarah Bartman, Bartman, she was an African woman with a huge bottom. Okay. She was taken, held prisoner, Googled over for her body and her figure and her shape. I think she only lived to be like 26 years old. That's pretty young. That's real young. But they put her in a museum and people would pay to go see her figure and her body. And then I thought about how many women throughout all different cultures have been trying to get that same look. They want that big ass. So I'm like, it has to be something deeper. Because remember, anything in the physical has a deeper meaning in the spiritual. So I wanted to know why this obsession with a big bottom, right? There's some people who have it naturally. They're ashamed of it. There's some people who don't have it much at all and they want to go pay for it. Then there's some cultures that they carry that naturally and they dance and they shake and they, and there's so much stigma around it. Some cultures embrace it. Some cultures shun it. Some cultures hide it. So I wanted to know the deeper meaning behind all that. So this is how that all plays out. Wade says, what you give will come back multiplied, especially in this time. Yes. especially now. It's definitely going to come back to you. Quick, with the quickness. All right. Let me tell you how I started the question. I said, throughout history, myths and culture, there has been deep esoteric meaning with having a big rounded posterior or a big butt. Today, BBL surgery is prevalent and often fatal. Let's take a deep dive tracing this from the earliest mothers of ancient beginnings to our current time. I said, what is the story behind the big bottom? Let's get into it. The story of the big bottom is much older and deeper than pop culture twerking, rap lyrics, or modern surgery trends. The rounded, fertile posterior has been an ancient symbol of life force, fertility, survival, and even cosmic power. Let's travel through time and trace this lineage of meaning. Number one, the primordial mothers, the first symbols of fertility. Paleolithic figurines such as the Venus of Willendorf, exaggerated breasts, bellies, and buttocks. These are not about beauty in the modern sense, but abundance, fecundity, and survival. A big posterior meant fat reserves, childbirth strength, and the ability to feed children in harsh climates. The buttocks here are almost cosmic, rounded like the moon, the womb, and the earth itself. So if you don't know what that is, look up the Venus of Willendorf. These are those statues that are shown very rounded, very robust, big hips, big butt, big breasts, big arms. They represented fertility, cosmic power. These were some of the first images of the primordial mother. Okay. And of course she was going to be big. Look how many children she got. Come on now. Okay, number two, African lineages. Steatophagia and divine feminine. I'm going to say that word again, but hold on. In South Africa, groups like the Khoisan women naturally displayed steatophagia, which is fat deposits in the buttocks, which became a sacred sign of fertility and continuity of life. In African cosmology, the hips and bottom are gateways to life, balancing the womb in the front with the grounding and stabilizing energy in the back. Okay, so your womb and your butt got to be in alignment. The infamous exploitation of Sarah Bartman, who was also called Hottentot Venus, in the 19th century shows how European colonizers fetishized and dehumanized what African tradition revered as sacred power. Number 3, the ancient world, goddesses of curves. Ishtar and Inanna in Mesopotamia. Carvings sometimes emphasized their hips and thighs, linking them to fertility rites. Hathor in Egypt, goddess of love, sexuality, and motherhood, often associated with the fullness of feminine form. Aphrodite in Greece, though later European art slimmed her down, earlier fertility cults celebrated voluptuous, wide-hipped figures. So look at that. All the goddesses were big. And as time went on, even Aphrodite, listen, artists are really important to a Renaissance or evolutionary time because images last throughout history. Okay? And so when you capture an image in a particular way, or you cut it down, or you slim it off, or you leave stuff off, it changes the entire meaning of the thing. So here they're saying Aphrodite was thick. And as time went on through European culture, they slimmed her down. And then you ask yourself, look at what the standard of beauty is today. How much of that mother did they chop off? In esoteric thought, the buttocks are the throne of the body, the seat of vitality, grounding of the spiritual into the physical. Number 4, symbolism in esotericism. So what does it symbolize in the esoteric realm? The base of the spine, or the Muladhara or root chakra in Hindu philosophy, is the seat of survival energy. The rounded posterior became a living emblem of root power, sexual energy, grounding, and stability. The backside also symbolized mystery and hidden forces, what is behind us, what supports us, and what we don't see but rely upon. All right, so that's what the backside meant in the esoteric world. Number 5, from sacred to fetishized. The Middle Ages and Renaissance saw fluctuating ideals, sometimes flat, sometimes full, always tied to wealth, class, and survival. In African diaspora traditions, Caribbean, Brazilian, and African American, dance and movements such as samba, rumba, and twerking preserve the sacred memory of the hips and buttocks as powerful generators of rhythm, life, and trance states. Colonizers saw this as lewd, while simultaneously desiring and exploiting it. Number 6, the modern crisis, BBLs and body commodification. In today's society, the big bottom has become both idealized and dangerous. Music, media, and fashion glorify curves as status symbols, but now divorced from their fertility, life, and cosmic grounding roots. So in fashion, fashion glorifies curves as a status symbol, but it's now been removed from its meaning of fertility, life, and cosmic grounding. The Brazilian butt lift, or BBL, is the ultimate paradox, chasing the archetype of the mother's fullness, but through surgery that often risks death. It is as though society craves the ancient archetype of abundance and rootedness, but has lost the sacred context leaving only the surface image. Number 7, esoteric reflection. What does it mean today? The big bottom is a living archetype of Earth itself, abundant, round, giving, and grounding. Where the ancients saw it as life's throne, today's culture mirrors back its distorted shadow, pursuit without wisdom, and beauty without grounding. The rise of BBL deaths might symbolically reflect humanity's disconnection from the sacred body, trying to force abundance through dangerous shortcuts instead of honoring natural cycles of fertility, survival, and flow. So, in summary, the big bottom is not just flesh, it's a memory encoded in form. For the ancients, it meant fertility, survival, and cosmic abundance. For the colonizers, it became fetish and exploitation. For today, it is both idol and danger, revealing our cultural hunger for the forgotten mother archetype. The story of the big bottom is really the story of humanity longing for the great mother, for her abundance and the rootedness of her life force. So I said, there was a time where women wore metal cage-like apparatus to give the figure of a big bottom. I said, why did they do this and what did they know? It says, you are, hey, Julie Bob. Good to see you. Come on in. All right. So now we're getting into, what did I ask again? Okay, so if you remember, if you've ever seen these images, back in the day, women used to wear these huge cages, and a lot of these older shows, when they show these kind of European aristocrat types, these women always had these elaborate dresses that were really big, but it always had that protruding butt. A whole apparatus meant to give them bottom. So I wanted to know what that was about. It says, you're referring to the crinoline, the farthingale, and the bustle traditions of Europe from the 16th to 19th centuries. These were hoop skirts, padded structures, and large metal cage-like bustles worn beneath dresses to exaggerate the hips and the buttocks. The deeper reasons behind this fashion reveal both occult echoes of ancient archetypes and social signaling. Number 1, the lineage of the form, echoes of the Great Mother. The rounded, exaggerated bottom and hips created by cages mirror the silhouette of the Venus figures and the fertility goddesses. Even if unconsciously, these fashions reconnected women to the archetype of abundance, fertility, and Earth's roundness. The dome-like skirts also resembled cosmic mandalas or orbs, symbolizing the woman as a miniature cosmo, with her womb and hips at the center of creation. Number 2, why did they wear it? Social power and status. The larger the cage, the more space a woman took up. This was a direct display of wealth and power. Only elite women could afford such impractical garments. A wide skirt prevented physical labor, signaling that the wearer was above work. Her abundance was symbolic of privilege and protection. It also made the body a kind of throne, visually grounding the woman as a central figure of attention. I guess nails have the same effect, right, of status, because if I go through, and I'm talking about people with those really long nails, okay, because if your nails is that long, you ain't washing no dishes. I don't know how you do it. You ain't cleaning no toilets. You ain't even bathing yourself. You're probably not even wiping yourself. I don't know how they do that. That's crazy to me. All right, number 3, esoteric symbolism of the backside. In alchemy and esoteric thought, The buttocks is the hidden, the mysterious, and the unseen force. By exaggerating the hips and buttocks, women became living altars of hidden power. Their presence suggested not only sexual allure, but also an energetic magnetism, the ability to draw wealth, suitors, and influence. The bustle, especially popular in the late 19th century, literally lifted the butt skyward, almost like displaying a throne of power carried behind the woman. Number 4 of why they wore these clothes: cross-cultural echoes. While Europe's cages were mechanical, African and indigenous cultures had dances and adornments that emphasized the hips and buttocks as the energy centers. European high society may not have consciously acknowledged this, but fashion often absorbs archetype from the collective unconscious. Here, echoing the big bottom is a symbol of life force and attraction. So basically, whether they knew it or not, okay, they were unconsciously still trying to connect with the archetype and the symbol of the buttocks being power and life force. Number 5, what did they know? On the surface, they knew that exaggerating the hips and rear shaped desire, status, and attraction. On a deeper level, even if unspoken, they were enacting the great mother archetype, turning women into symbols of abundance, fecundity, and cosmic grounding. The cages and bustles turned women into living statues of fertility and power, though framed within patriarchal courtly display rather than the freedom of movement. So in short, they did it because they understood, whether consciously or not, that a big bottom was not just sexy, but sacred. It symbolized fertility, wealth, cosmic fullness, and hidden magnetism. So I said, basically, would it like me to do a comparison of the two eras, the African era and the European era? It's just a quick breakdown of what we already said. So in the African side of this, it was expression through the body itself. Natural accumulation of fat in the buttocks was celebrated as fertility and survival power. In the European side of this, they expressed it through fashion and apparatus, such as the farthingale, the crinoline, and the bustles. It was an artificial way of enlarging the hips and buttocks. In African tradition, it's rooted in ancestral cosmology. The hips and the bottom are sacred gateways of life, linking the womb to earth. In the European side of it, it was rooted in courtly display. The hips and bottom symbolize status, wealth, and refined femininity. On the African side, it was embodied in dance. Traditional dances from West Africa, the Caribbean, and Brazil use the hips and the bottom to activate rhythm, trance, and life force. On the European side, it embodied stillness. Hoop skirts restricted movements, emphasizing the woman as untouchable and almost throne-like in her figure. On the African side, it symbolized fertility, vitality, and connection to the Great Mother. A woman's abundance ensured continuity of a community. On the European side, it signified privilege and wealth. The larger the skirt, the more impractical it was, showing the woman didn't work or move freely. The African side is seen as sacred and communal. The power of the hips was celebrated in ritual, performance, and everyday life. The European side is seen as exclusive and ornamental. The power of the hips was aestheticized, owned by the aristocracy, and often divorced from natural fertility. The esoteric link between the two. Both traditions circle around the same archetype, the Great Mother's abundance. Africa expressed it through embodiment, movement, and natural form, hips as the living rhythm of life. Europe expressed it through construction, restriction, and external adornment. Hips were symbolic of throne and power. It is almost like Africa kept the sacred body alive, while Europe tried to build a cage around the archetype to control and display it, which would be just like what they did with Sarah Bartman. She represented all of that feminine power as it was initially displayed by what they would now be calling pagan beliefs. So the best way to taint something, if you're trying to get rid of it, is to reduce it to exploitation. And then it almost kind of loses its value. Okay. So it says, would you like me to, let me see which one. Hang on, because it did this twice, and I didn't need it to do it twice. Okay, it says, would you like me to draw this comparison forward into modern culture? For example, how African dance and diaspora music preserve the sacred, while Western fashion and BBL cultures preserves the artificial. I say yes, let's do that. So we're going to compare the sacredness of the lineage and how that has progressed. And then we're going to also compare that to the artificial lineage and how that has progressed. So the sacred lineage. African traditional dances channel the buttocks as centers of rhythm, fertility, and life force. The artificial lineage, such as BBL surgery, padding, and sculpted clothing, artificially recreate the form without the energetic or sacred context. The sacred lineage use drum rhythm and dances to turn the hips into instruments of trance and connection with the ancestors. The bottom is a vessel of spiritual expression. In media and celebrity culture, which is now the other side, the big booty is commodified through music videos, social media, and pornography, framed for consumption rather than communion. The sacred line. Dance circles and festivals celebrate abundance as a shared life-affirming power. In the individual display today, the butt is treated as a personal status symbol, a currency of attraction and visibility. On the sacred side, movement unlocks the root chakra, grounding life force, pleasure, and vitality. Today, body is a commodity. Surgery risk, fashion discomfort, and digital filters turn the body into a product, often detached from its natural function. On the sacred side, the body remembers ancient archetypes of fertility, survival, and joy. Today, we have forgotten roots. The body remembers too, but the culture reshapes that memory into a pursuit that can be dangerous, with BBLs having a high fatality rate. So the archetype today. African lineage preserves the movement, the life force, the celebration of hips as portals of rhythm and creation. The Western lineages preserve the shape, the image, and the idea of abundance, but often without the grounding context, leading to artificial replication. The esoteric mirror. It's as though the Great Mother's abundance archetype has split. So the idea of what the Great Mother was the first mother, it took two paths. In the sacred lineage, she is dancing, alive, and embodied. In the artificial lineage, she is caged, intimidated, and risked through surgery. The prevalence of BBL deaths could be read symbolically. When we chase form without essence, we touch shadow instead of life. Come on now. That's a word. They said BBLs is symbolic that when you chase the form without the essence, you're touching the shadow instead of life. Let that one sink in. So I said, let's go deeper into the sacredness of twerking or shaking the butt. I said, what is happening energetically? How does this affect the dancer and the earth? I said, what alignment is occurring during the dance? Here's the answer. Though today twerking is seen through a pop culture sexualized lens, its roots are ancient, sacred, and deeply energetic. Did you know that? Twerking is ancient. Go on, girl. In many African, Afro-Caribbean, and indigenous traditions, shaking or pulsing the buttocks, hips, is not just a dance move. It is a ritual act that aligns the body, the earth, and the spirit. Number 1, the energy centers activated. The root chakra, or the Muladhara, located at the base of the spine, governing survival, security, and primal life force. Hip and butt movements shake loose blockages in this area, grounding the dancer into Earth's frequency. The sacral chakra, or the Svadhisthana, I hope I said that right, located in the pelvis, governing sexuality, creativity, and flow. The hip rhythms awaken this center, releasing suppressed energy and turning movement into joy, creation, and magnetism. Spinal wave activation. Continuous shaking creates a pulsation that moves upward, sometimes triggering kundalini-like flows through the spine. Number 2, the body as a drum. In African cosmology, the body itself is an instrument. The buttocks and hips, when shaken rhythmically, become a drum of flesh echoing the earth's heartbeat. The movement is not random. It entrains with drum beats, syncing the dancer's pulse with the collective rhythm of the community and the planet. Number 3, the earth connection. When the hips circle or shake close to the ground, the dancer is literally stirring energy in the soil. So you see those women that like to get down on their hands and knees and twerk? You got to look at this differently now. They are stirring the energy in the soil. Each stomp, each pulse, and each shake sends vibration into the ground, like fertility rites of old, feeding the earth with life force while drawing up energy from it. This creates a feedback loop. The earth to the dancer, to the community, back to the earth. Number 4, the alignment that occurs. The vertical axis. The movement aligns the dancer's spine with the earth's axis, grounding and centering them. The horizontal axis. The hips move in circles and pulses, tracing the cycles of the moon, fertility, and cosmic feminine power. Together, the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. The dance creates a crossroads of heaven and earth. The body becomes a sacred meeting point. So the vertical is your spine. That's your vertical axis. Your hips, right? That's your horizontal axis. And your hips connect you with the moon, fertility, and cosmic power. And your spine connects you with the earth's axis, grounding and centering. So when you can move in rhythm so that your vertical spine and your horizontal hips are moving together, you create the crossroads of heaven and earth. Now, ain't that the Holy Cross? That would have been the first cross. I'm just saying. Number 5, effects on the dancer. Liberation, okay? Trauma, shame, and stagnant energy stored in the pelvis shake loose. You may experience ecstasy, where the rhythm induces a trance-like state, allowing communion with ancestors and spirits. You can become empowered. The dancer embodies the archetype of the Great Mother, representing abundance, fertility, creativity, and magnetism. Number 6, the effects on the earth. So when you're out here shaking your ass and you're shaking your ass to get in alignment. You're shaking your ass to get in alignment. You can tell anybody who got a problem with it that AI said that that's what you're doing. Hey, Antonia. Good to see you. Missed a good chunk of it, but it's good. So as you're shaking, what are the effects on the earth? The earth receives the vibration as an offering. It's like drumming directly into the soil. Fertility dances in many traditions are believed to literally call rain, grow crops, and bless the land. The dance reaffirms the bond between human and earth, reminding the soil that the people are alive, grateful, and ready to receive abundance. So can you imagine? You out here manifesting and trying to manifest, and you can't manifest, and all you needed to do was go twerk in the dirt. I can't. Oh my God. Imagine if you're struggling with manifesting and all you had to do this whole time was connect with your body and go shake your ass under the moon or in the dirt. I tell you, life is funny. You know, Antonia said, what about skanking? Hey, Antonia, if the skanking make you move your hips, I think it worked. Wade said, you call it bubble butt, but I call it damn eye candy. All right, Wade. Hey, Starling, keep your finger ready on the button for Wade. Wade getting a little happy over here. Oh God, that's funny. All right. Number 7, esoteric meaning of the shake. The buttocks are the throne of the body, the seat of grounding. To shake them is to activate the throne, to wake up the dormant serpent at the base of the spine. It is also to mock or repel negativity. In some traditions, showing or shaking the backside wards off evil spirits because the movement radiates life force, vibrations they cannot withstand. Come on now. Did you hear that? So when you see these women in these traditions dancing like that, and people perceive it as vulgar, or you ever see those women, they just show up in a random clothing store or wherever, hey, and they just start dancing and twerking on the bus, in the club, at the smoothie spot. They get together, it's just, they greet like that. They greet with the hey and the ass shaking. It mocks and repels negativity. In some traditions, showing or shaking the backside wards off evil spirits because the movement radiates life force vibrations they cannot withstand. I think Jamaican women have been running duppies with these asses for a long, long time. But I digress. I said, okay, before we go, it asked me if I wanted to do like a sacred prayer or something like that. So I said, before we go there, I said, many women have forgotten this wisdom. Religion and other types of programming now has her believing that dancing like this is bad, vulgar, or nasty. I said, how can that woman begin to rediscover the sacredness of this? Let's speak as the ancient mother would. Let us guide this understanding back to the power of sacredness. So here's the answer. Child of my body, you have been told lies about yourself. They told you that your hips are shameful, that your movements are sinful, that the pulse of your flesh is vulgar. But I tell you this, your hips are temples, your thighs are rivers, your bottom is the drum upon which creation beats. Number one, the ancient mother speaks of the body. Your body is not filth. It is my image. Your curves are not vulgar. They are my hills and valleys. When you move, you echo the tides, the moon, and the cycles of planting and harvest. The shaking of your hips, the rolling of your bottom, these are not obscene. They are the language of life itself. They awaken the sleeping seeds. They call the rain, and they summon joy into the bones of your people. So remember, when people needed rain because of a drought, when people needed a way to sway weather, climate, temperature, earth changes in their favor, this is when the women dance like this. Because you're connected to the earth and you're helping to move and align and feed the earth energy, and then it feeds it back to you, and then you take this into your community to harvest, to survive, to grow, to become abundant, to evolve. So make no mistake about what dancing can do to put you in alignment with the earth. Number two, how she can begin again. This is the woman who perceives dancing as vulgar, right? How do you start over? How do you get to the point where you could see this as a sacred thing so you could get rid of this programming that what you're doing with your body is somehow filthy, okay? First thing you need to do is reclaim the dance by yourself first. Begin in private, where no eyes of judgment can touch you. Let the drum speak. If not an outer drum, then your heartbeat. Stand barefoot. Let your hips sway, circle, and shake. Do not perform. You're doing this to remember. Number two, release the shame. If guilt rises, whisper to yourself, this is holy. This is prayer. This is me calling my mother back into my bones. Feel the earth respond. Each pulse of your hips is a message to the soil. Even if you are indoors, feel your feet connect down and roots extending. The earth knows your rhythm and she will answer. Number three, the power of sacredness restored. When you dance, you align with the stars. Your spine becomes the world tree, your hips the drum, and your womb the cauldron of new worlds. This is why they told you it was vulgar. They feared your power. They knew that when you shook your hips freely, you became the ungovernable. For no chains can hold the woman who dances with the earth. Come on now. Come on now. Message. Number four, a blessing for the return. Daughter, when you reclaim your dance, you reclaim me. When you shake your hips, you scatter chains. When you circle your bottom, you call down the moon. And when you laugh with your whole body, I, your ancient mother, laugh through you. So move. Move without shame. Move without fear. Move as I made you, sacred, abundant, and unstoppable. So this is going into how to create a sacred space to do this with yourself. Okay, y'all enjoying this so far? This is good information here, man. Everybody's gonna pick up something they need. Just pick up what you need and leave the rest. So here is the dance ritual, right? For the people who need structure. Some of y'all out there are pros. Starling. Some of you already been tapping into the fertility of this, the sexualness of this, the feminine power of this. You got it. You master in the class. But some people, they're just starting and they need structure. It's not natural to them. So how would they start? Number one, prepare your space. Clear a small circle where you can stand barefoot. If you have music with drums, play it. If not, hear your own heartbeat. This is enough. Light a candle if you wish. You do not need an altar. You are the altar. And when you connect with yourself, you call in my presence. Number two, root yourself. Close your eyes. Breathe deep into your belly and feel your feet grow roots down into the earth. With each breath, your body grows heavier, more grounded, more connected. Whisper to yourself, I am rooted in the mother. I am safe in the earth. Number three, invite the hips to awaken. Gently let your hips begin to sway, side to side, front to back, small circles. There is no wrong way. Imagine you are stirring the waters of creation inside you. Whisper to yourself, I awaken my sacred hips. I awaken my root. I awaken my joy. Number four, shake free the chains. Now let the sway grow stronger. Shake your hips, bounce your bottom, and let the flesh move freely. Feel shame break off of you like dust falling from the ancient bones. And with every shake, you are saying, I am not bound. I am not ashamed. I am sacredness in motion. Number five, align with the earth beat. Stamp your feet to the beat of your hips. Boom, boom, boom. Hear the echo travel into the ground. Know that the earth is listening. She drinks in your rhythm as an offering. She answers back with her heartbeat rising up through your legs. Whisper to yourself, Mother, I dance with you. You dance with me. Number six, the spiral of creation. Now let your hips circle wide, like the moon tracing the sky. Feel your womb, your spine, and your heart align in one flowing axis. You are the world tree. You are the drum. You are the moon. Whisper to yourself, through me, the mother remembers herself. 7, the closing. Slow your movements. Place your hands on your hips, then on your womb, then on your heart. Bow your head and whisper to yourself, this body is holy. This dance is prayer. I am the mother, and the mother is me. Blow out the candle and keep the fire inside you alive. This practice is a reclamation. Each time she moves, she is rewriting the story from vulgarity to vitality and from shame to sacredness. And remember, this is for men too, right? You have hips and you have a spine, so you're able to move. And if you know men in other cultures, they know how to move their bodies just like the women do and flow with rhythm. So if you're a man out there, this is not just for a woman. This is for you too. You got to loosen your hips up and get those hips in the flow of nature. So I said, we're going to close out with this. I said, how can the divine masculine support the feminine in this without exploitation. The role of the divine masculine. The masculine gaze, it says first you should witness without taking. The masculine gaze must shift from consumption to reverence. To see a woman dance in her sacred power is to behold the earth herself moving. This is not a moment to take, but to bow. Hold space. Masculine energy provides the container, a grounded, safe circle where the feminine can move without fear. Think of the masculine as the drum frame, while the feminine is the skin vibrating with rhythm. Protect the sacred. When society or religion shames the dance, the divine masculine steps forward to shield her, not silence her. He affirms that her hips are holy and that her joy is not obscene. How he can act in practice. As a partner, dance not to dominate or imitate, but to sync the energy. He can step into rhythm, offering his grounded presence while she expresses her flow. As a witness, instead of sexualizing the dance, he can mirror back its beauty with reverence. Quote, I see your power. I honor your body as sacred. As a community pillar, the divine masculine can create and defend spaces where women can dance freely. Festivals, circles, homes. He becomes the protector of her joy. Number 3, energetic alignment between feminine dance and masculine support. When she shakes her hips, she grounds energy into the earth. When he holds space, he anchors the container. So together, she is the movement of rivers, and he is the banks of the rivers, ensuring that her flow is safe, powerful, and free. So you can't experience this with a masculine that don't want to see you free in your energy, because he's not going to create that container for you where he's the banks of the river so you can flow how you need to with the energy. He's just going to collapse. All right. So you can't try to experience this connection with a masculine that's either jealous of you or he cannot see the sacredness of you doing this. Okay. Think about that. Number 4, what the ancient mother would say to the divine masculines. She would say, my sons, do not grasp at what is not yours to take. Do not shrink from what you do not understand. Stand tall as trees around the clearing. Let your sisters dance. Let their hips summon the rain and guard them from those who would shame them or make them into idols for profit. In this way, you are not diminished, you are fulfilled. For when the feminine flows free, the masculine finds his true strength. Come on now. In essence, the divine masculine supports by holding, witnessing, protecting, and honoring, not by exploiting. When both align, the dance becomes cosmic balance, rhythm and frame, flow and grounding, and creation and stability. That's important. So I'll end it here with a vow that the divine masculine can take. If you're by yourself, you don't have to worry about someone respecting and honoring what you do. But if you are with a partner and you're trying to step into this space where you're maybe trying to rediscover yourself this way, it's a journey that you have to take together. All right? And this is just a vow of support I think for anybody. who is going to witness you going through this change and this shift where you are inviting this healing power into yourself. This would be an important way for them to understand how to support you. So this would be the vow to whoever you have supporting you in this. I stand as mountain. I stand as tree. I do not take from you. I do not silence you. I do not bind you. I witness your hips as holy. I witness your bottom as throne. I witness your dance as prayer. I am not here to consume you. I am here to guard your freedom, to hold the circle so that your body may speak. When you shake the earth awake, I anchor the sky above you. When you spiral in creation's rhythm, I keep the ground steady beneath your feet. I vow to honor your body as sacred temple. I vow to honor your movement as sacred ritual. I vow to honor your laughter as sacred medicine. I am your brother. I am your partner. I am your protector, not your master and not your thief. For only when you dance free can I know myself as truly strong. So move, my sister, my beloved, my equal. I will guard the fire. I will guard the circle. I will guard the memory of your holiness. This is my vow. This is my blessing. This is my joy. And I'll end it right there. That was nice. I love this conversation so much. It gave me a chance to play some music I love and to show you that you don't have to be one way on the spiritual journey, because all of you is sacred. Every part of you is sacred. And the more you align all of who you are, body, mind, and spirit. Sometimes when we go on the spiritual journey, we want to develop the mind and spirit so much and we forget the body. The body is sacred and it has to evolve with everything else. You can't evolve in mind and spirit and leave the body behind, right? It has to come into the space of sacred too. And understanding that twerking and shaking your ass is not something vulgar. It's actually what connects you to spirit. Maybe you look at it a little differently now, right? All right, let's close out with a card. Hold on, find it. Anything here? This one. I said it only feels right. We're talking about African stuff, you know. It only feels right to go with this one. Let's see. Let's go. Okay, that was quick. Let's see what this is. Ooh, okay, that one's different now. Surrender. But look at that sexuality. Look at that nurturing. Let's see what this is. 44. I've been seeing 44, 11, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. Man, I've been seeing so much synchronicity. It's constant, every day, every day, every day. Let's see what 44 wants to say. Every time I see those numbers on the clock, 11, 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, I just take a moment to honor that time as sacred. That's just nature saying to me, this moment is sacred. And I just give a gratefulness and thankfulness in that moment. And I say, thank you for my life. All right. I set goddess of spiritual surrender from Nubia, Egypt, or Kemet. Her temple, high priestesses. Her element is the bush. Goddess Iset is revered as a magical healer and sorceress. She of 10,000 names. You may know her as Isis, her Greek name as Aset, or Wuset. Iset was worshipped in ancient Nubia, the Sudan region, Egypt, and beyond. This is her guidance. Let it all go. Say aloud now, I surrender. These words cast a spell. Breathe them in. This is her embodiment. Release control. Isn't that what the dance is going to help you do? Release control. Stop bonding around struggle. Hand the keys to the divine and allow spirit to carry you and fill in the gaps. You don't have to figure it all out. God and Goddess has your back. Have faith in where you are in this moment. This is her declaration. Everything I need to know finds me at the perfect time. So that's, let me look at this card here. So there's some roses. And rose, if you know the history of roses, is very symbolic of divine power. Then you have that crane. Very prevalent in Egyptian times and in a lot of hieroglyphics. You have this mother energy. And it's funny that the baby is white. Because haven't we been doing this comparison the whole time of kind of African and European, still showing her as nurturer, no matter the race. The divine mother is not racist. She's the mother of all. And every one of us suckle at her breasts. So every one of us has life. Look at that eye right there. Right? That's a powerful card. So think about that. Everything is deeper. Everything has a deeper meaning. All right, Wade, we're closing up anyway. It's good to see you. Wade said, my happy ass gotta go. I love Wade's energy. All right, bye, Wade. I love and appreciate you. All right. And guys, I'm going to close it out now, but just right at an hour mark is where I like to keep it. I hope this enlightened you. Hit the like button. All right. Subscribe if you love this information. Thank you, Starling, Antonia, Wade, Julie Bop. Somebody else had jumped in here earlier. Oh, no, it was Wade. All right. Starling, I appreciate you. It enlightened me to continue dancing. Good. Antonia, find your own rhythm. Find your own way to make you shake, baby, and connect with this earth and then bring all that energy back to the community and share it through your channel, right? Share it with your families. However, that energy emboldens you, empowers you, fills you up, fulfills you. You share that again with the world. So that's the mother coming back through her daughters, through her sons, to use us as vessels for wisdom to deliver it back into the world. Very, very, very sacred move is to be on the hands and the knees and shake your ass. Because now you have that vibration going up the spine easier, and the energy centers of your palms and the energy centers of your knees are literally pulling that energy up. Women used to do this back in the day under the full moon. They would have their hair down, big curly, I'm seeing this now, big curly hair on their hands and knees around the fire, because the fire helps to anchor in cosmic life force. Anytime you light fire and dance, you already got the door wide open. So make sure your intention is genuine, because once you light the fire, it's on. They used to work themselves into these ecstatic states, moving, feeling the flow through their feet, barefoot. I've had that experience too. You start to feel something wanting you to dance, like there's an energy coming up your feet, and it starts to move your hips. It's almost like you're not in control. And this is where it might be difficult, because you're going to have to let go and let it take you. Okay? But make sure you set the space so that you're not inviting. You can't be around negative people and do this. You can't be in a negative environment and do this, because what you're doing is you be opening up your gates, but what's coming in. So where you choose to do this is what really anchors in the sacredness. And then they get on their hands and knees and fling their hair and whip it in the dirt and the dust And that created open. It's like your knees have an opening and your palms have an opening. And the energy from the earth comes up through your body. And you know, cat cow, that on your hands and knees, you kind of arch your back, dip it down, that cat cow move in yoga, that is accelerated. Now you're pumping the spine and the spinal fluid and you're raising your kundalini. This thing is deep. A lot of what you call yoga, if you did to music that had drums, and then you found a way to move your body as you did it, that's why I keep saying, create your own yoga. They don't have to look like what nobody else is doing. All it's got to do is connect you. So I'll leave it there. You have a lot to think about. I love you. Until next time, I'm going to be twerking myself. Enjoy your dancing. I love and appreciate all of you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. If you're watching on the replay, I appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Take care, everyone. Later.